Hello and welcome to another simple science video where we aim to explain basic scientific concepts. And in this video we are going to discuss the second part of our kinematics series, that is speed and velocity. In this video we aim to distinguish between those two by giving examples and definitions to help you distinguish between the two. And here we go. Speed and velocity. What are speed and velocity? Well, they obviously relate to how fast things move. And speed is known as the rate of change of distance. That means how fast you cover distance within with respect to time. So it's dv over dt. Okay. And it's a scalar quantity. Whereas velocity is the rate of change of displacement. It is how fast you cover displacement per unit time. And since displacement itself is a vector quantity, velocity has to be a vector quantity. And we will talk about this later on in the video. And a very important concept we need to grasp is rather simple, and that is instantaneous speed and velocity. And this helps us distinguish between the two. Speed at any instant is the magnitude of how fast something moves. Now, when you're quoting something's speed, you only quote its magnitude. I mean, that's common sense, right? I mean, you can say a car moves with a speed of 60 miles per hour. You're only quoting its magnitude, not its direction. And as you can guess, velocity is exactly the same thing, but with a direction. For example, the car moves with a velocity of 60 miles per hour, but eastward. So we're giving it a direction. Okay? So that's basically it. That is instantaneous speed and instantaneous velocity. And remember, when you're quoting velocity, you need to include a certain direction, and it could be in terms of north, south, east, west, or a degree from the horizontal, from the vertical, or as a bearing, which is really nice. And another concept we need to grasp is average speed and velocity. Average speed and velocity are different from instantaneous speed and velocity in that average speed looks at the entire journey, whilst instantaneous velocity and speed only considers the speed and velocity at a certain point in time. This basically encapsulates the entire journey in a way. The average speed is known as the total distance traveled in that journey divided by the total time. It is given by this formula where v is equal to d over t. D stands for distance and t stands for time. And regular v is known as speed, whereas velocity is the total displacement over the total time. And we symbolize this as v with the arrow on top, v bar, whatever you like to call it, and it is s over t, and s stands for displacement. Okay? So average velocity is basically, on average, how much displacement of the entire journey do you cover per unit time. Now here I'm going to give you an example. So a man travels from A to B in 1 minute following the curved path indicated by the arrows. Okay? Calculate his average speed and his average velocity. So to calculate his average speed, we are going to use the formula total distance traveled divided by time. So you would get something like this. The total distance traveled is the length of the total curved path. As indicated, it is 50 meters long. And the total time he traveled is 60 seconds. So 50 divided by 60 gives you 0.833 meters per second. Whereas average velocity is displacement over time. So we're going to use the straight line distance from A to B divided by the total time. And that is 40 meters divided by 60 seconds. It gives you 2/3 meters per second due east. Remember, the arrow is pointing to the right, so I can say due east. And since it's average velocity, we need to quote the direction also. And here's another example. An athlete runs around a 400-meter track once, as in he travels around the track once under a time of 44 seconds. Find his, speed and velocity. Okay, so to find his average speed, we are going to use the formula average speed equals total distance traveled divided by total time. And this is simply 400 meters divided by 44 seconds, and it gives you 9.09 meters per second. However, many of you may not know, average velocity is the total displacement over time. And since he is starting and ending his 400-meter run at the same point, the distance between his starting and ending point is 0, right? Because they are exactly at the same spot. So therefore, his average velocity is equal to displacement 0 divided by total time, 44 seconds. And this gives 0 meters per second with no direction. And that is our presentation on speed and velocity. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and comment. Please enjoy your day and goodbye.